You're brushing your teeth. You're not thinking about music. Then, from nowhere, 4 notes loop through your skull like they own the place. You didn't choose them, you can't turn them off. And the strange part is, you've probably never once asked why this happens to you. Scientists have a name for it. They call it an earworm. But the real answer is far stranger than a catchy chorus. Your brain isn't malfunctioning when a song gets stuck. It's doing exactly what it was built to do, millions of years before pop music existed. To understand why, you have to stop thinking of your brain as a music player. Think of it instead as a prediction machine. Every second of every day, it's guessing what comes next. What sound, what danger, what word in this very sentence. Music happens to be one of the purest tests of that guessing game there is. Here's where it gets interesting. Dr. James Caleris, a marketing professor at the University of Cincinnati, spent years studying exactly what makes a song hijack your mind. He surveyed thousands of people and found something almost everyone shared. The songs that stuck weren't always the ones people loved most. They were the ones that were simple, repetitive, and just a little bit unexpected. A melody with a small twist. A rhythm that almost resolves, but not quite. Why would an unresolved pattern be so powerful? Because your brain hates loose ends. Try this. If someone said twinkle, twinkle, little, and stopped right there, something in you would want to finish it. That itch. That tiny discomfort. That's the exact mechanism behind an earworm. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect, named after Bluma Zeigarnik, who noticed that waiters remembered unpaid orders far better than ones already settled. An open loop burns brighter in memory than a closed one. A song stuck mid-phrase in your head is an order your brain refuses to let go unpaid. But prediction alone doesn't explain everything. Why music and not, say, a stuck phone number or a memorized grocery list? For that, you need to go back further than pop charts. Long before written language, before even language itself was fully formed, early humans were almost certainly using rhythm and repeated sound to bond groups together. Chanting around a fire, rhythmic work songs, repetitive lullabies passed from a mother to a child who couldn't yet understand a single word. Rhythm didn't need translation. It moved straight into the body. Think about that for a second. A predictable beat told your ancestors' brains something important, that the world was safe enough to relax into a pattern. Unpredictable sound meant danger, a snapped branch, a growl, something worth flinching at. Predictable sound meant community, safety, belonging. Your brain learned over unthinkable stretches of time to reward itself for locking onto repeating patterns. That reward system never got the memo that pop songs on the radio aren't lions in the grass. So when a chorus loops in your head at your desk, you're not being haunted by a jingle. You're running an ancient survival subroutine, one built to notice, remember, and rehearse patterns that once helped a small group of humans stay alive together. Now, here's the twist almost nobody expects. Earworms aren't actually rare glitches. They're closer to the default setting of a musical brain. Dr. Victoria Williamson, a music psychologist at Goldsmiths, University of London, ran studies asking people to keep diaries of their earworms in real time. Something showed up almost immediately. Roughly 9 out of 10 people experience an earworm at least once a week. For many, it's closer to daily. This isn't a rare malfunction happening to a handful of unlucky brains. It's a near-universal feature of how the human mind processes sound. What triggers it, though? That part is oddly personal and oddly mundane. Stress is a huge one. A boring, repetitive task is another. Saying a word that happens to be a lyric, even just remembering that a song exists, can be enough to summon it. Your brain doesn't need much of an invitation. Give it an idle moment, a spare bit of unused processing power, and it reaches for whatever pattern it was most recently primed with. There's a researcher who took this even further. Elizabeth Helmuth Margulis, a cognitive scientist who studies musical repetition, argues that repetition itself is what turns sound into music in the first place. A single unfamiliar note is just noise to your brain. Repeat it, shape it, echo it back, and suddenly, your mind starts treating it as something meaningful, something worth remembering, something worth anticipating. Repetition is not a flaw in how music works. It's the entire mechanism. Every earworm is really just repetition doing its job a little too well, running on a loop your conscious mind never asked for and can't easily switch off. So how do you actually get one to stop? This is where the science turns almost funny. You can't out-argue a loop with willpower. Trying to force a song out of your head usually makes it louder. The same way trying not to think about something makes it nearly impossible not to. But there's a trick that works surprisingly often, and it comes straight back to that unresolved loop idea. If the melody is stuck because it feels unfinished, then finishing it. Actually listening to the whole song from start to end often closes the loop. The order gets paid, the waiter forgets the table. Chewing gum has also shown up in research as an odd but effective fix. Some studies suggest the physical movement of your jaw interferes with the same mental workspace your brain uses to rehearse musical phrases internally. It's a strange fact, but a real one. Your brain, it turns out, is only borrowing a limited amount of internal space to loop that melody, and a competing task, even something as small as chewing, can crowd it out. There's something almost touching about all of this once you sit with it. That song stuck in your head at 3 in the afternoon isn't proof that your brain is broken or distracted or wasting time. It's proof that you're running the same ancient hardware that once helped small bands of early humans synchronize, bond, and remember. Your ancestors didn't have headphones. They had rhythm, repetition, and each other. The pattern-loving, prediction-hungry, repetition-rewarding brain that plagues you with a pop chorus at your desk is the very same brain that let a group of humans clap in unison around a fire tens of thousands of years ago and feel, for a moment, like one single organism instead of many separate, frightened ones. So the next time a song won't leave you alone, you don't have to fight it. You can notice it instead. Notice the itch of the unfinished loop. Notice how badly your mind wants to close it. Notice that this small, mildly annoying moment is actually a living fossil, a tiny performance of a survival strategy older than music itself, older than language, older than almost anything else your brain still does today. You're brushing your teeth. The song loops again, and this time you know exactly why.